Welcome to Eternal Freedom. Today we're going to talk about doership. Every activity you do has an associated karma. That is what the law of karma says. But by this law, it would seem you can never be free. Every action that you're taking will have some consequence. So the question is, how can you be free from the fruits of your actions or doerships? Today, we are going to talk about doership and hence free will as well. But before we get into it, I wanted to cover off some terminology and foundational components or concepts which will put everything we talk about into perspective. So the three perspectives we will assess things from today. Firstly, the lens that we look at things from can be the lens of the body-mind structure or the egoic perspective. Now, this is the most common lens that we all apply. We consider everything to revolve around us and our ego and our body-mind structure and identity. So it won't be very hard to apply this lens whenever we look at things. The second lens is the dualistic point of view. Now, those that haven't been across this concept, what this actually means, that everything that appears and all that changes is an experience, and that which observes the experience is the experiencer, which is eternal, changeless, without attributes, birthless, deathless. So in the dualistic point of view, there are two elements or two concepts. One is the experience, and everything that changes, everything that you can observe is an experience. That includes the ego, the body, the mind, the structure, the everything that you can think of, that you can name effectively. And that which is observing is the experiencer, which as we said, is eternal, changeless. So that's the second point of view we will look at. The third point of view will be the non-dualistic perspective, wherein all that appears is one. So the experience and the experiencer that we were looking at or observing things from in the dualistic point of view have now merged into just experiencing. There's just being. That's all there is. When you look at everything as one, or what sometimes people call it oneness, when you look at things from a oneness perspective, there are no two. Everything is just one. So that's the other perspective that we will today examine this from. Okay, so let's just understand things from the first perspective of the egoic body-mind structure. When we are born, we usually don't know who we are, and so we're given a name and we're given a identity. We're told we're a boy and a girl, etc., and that's how our egoic identity starts building up. And so does the ownership build up as well. So we start feeling that we own the name. This name is mine, and if someone says something negative about that name, then I feel upset. Someone says positive about that name, then I feel happy about it. So that's how this egoic identity is built, and with it is built concepts and ideas and experiences that are attributed or that are associated with this egoic identity. So when we look at things from the perspective of this egoic identity, what happens is that automatically all the things you have collected over time, so I might have a house, a car, a wife, children, I might have relationships and friends and family, all of those have suddenly started becoming part of me. I start owning them. And as a consequence, what happens is the law of karma starts applying to me, because whatever I own also means that I own the consequences of anything I do with it. So for instance, if I feel that I own my car, then I'm not only accountable for the car, its maintenance, its registration, and everything else, but that also has consequences. If I don't get my car registered, I end up being fined. So with ownership comes, with responsibility comes accountability, and with that comes the law of karma and doership, and also the consequences. So that's quite easy to understand. Well, the question then arises that what happens to things that I don't own? Clearly, if someone said to you that someone has died in Iraq, let's say there's a war going on, or someone's died in Ukraine, there's in a war, you have no relationship with that person. You have no egoic identity that associates you with that person. You suddenly you have no pain, no compassion, no sadness, nothing, unless of course you saw some gruesome pictures. But other than that, you still look at something, an event that happens far, far away, unrelated to you, not even part of your egoic structure, body-mind structure, and to you that is just something unconnected to you. You neither get sad nor you get happy about it. But you find that things or situations or concepts that are closer to your egoic body-mind structure, they tend to influence you the most. The more closer they are, the more they influence you. So things that are most distant have little or no impact on you. So it's basically how much you own something, or how much you perceive to own something, you then get impacted. So all of this relates to ownership. So if you don't own anything, let's say you don't take ownership of any concept, any idea, any name, sex, caste, color, creed, nation, citizenship, any of that seriously, then you will not have any consequences either. So the trick lies in that one perspective. And the dualistic perspective is really just that. What the dualistic perspective is saying is that all the experiences out there, they are an illusion. And the one that is experiencing all those experiences is the experiencer. So the experiencer is automatically detached from the experiences, because the experiencer is, in other words, we call different names for the experiencer, but the experiencer is changeless, attributeless. So it doesn't feel happy, nor does it feel sad. It is also what people call the soul or the Atman, and so that is what everyone's essence is. So when you are from a dualistic point of view, you are the experiencer, and you see everything as an experience. Even your body-mind structure, your ego, your thoughts, everything. The moment you see everything as an experience, you automatically get detached from the experience itself, and consequently from doership. So this concept of doership does not exist. You are suddenly aware of all that appears. Now let's look at what happens when you look at things from a non-dualistic perspective. Of course, from a non-dualistic perspective, everything is one. So when everything is one, there is no doership either. It's not like there are two things. One is doing something and one thing is doing something to another thing. It's not. It's just one. It's all just one. So there is no doing, there is no action, there is no consequence, and hence that is free on its own. So the moment you go beyond the egoic body-mind structure, you enter a state of non-doership. The moment you see your body-mind egoic identity as an illusion, as an experience only, then all you're doing is just playing a role. You are not really entrapped in that doership of actions. So the trick to be detached from this body-mind egoic structure, firstly, is find a guru. Secondly, get the knowledge which the guru will help you with. Thirdly, practice awareness, which again the guru will help you with. The more aware you are that all that appears is an illusion, the more your knowledge will be anchored in the self. And the more your knowledge is anchored in the self, because self is nothing but the experiencer, then more you will abide in the self, or being aware all the time, in which case you are free from doership. And that is, in essence, doership, and how you can be free from it. And free will was the other thing that we're going to talk about, but perhaps we will cover this off in another talk. Thank you.